You are watching Criticom Link, back here today with another video. And today I am talking about quite a numerous range of different subjects, doing something a little bit different here today where I don't just really center around one topic the whole video. I'm actually going to be talking about quite a different array of topics throughout this one here. So to start us off, as you all probably know, the new Terminator movie, Terminator Dark Fate, is coming out this year, and it's supposed to see Arnold Schwarzenegger as the T-800, Linda Hamilton as Sarah Connor, and Edward Furlong as John Connor, all three of which were in the first two Terminator films, reprise their roles as Dark Fate sees James Cameron returning as producer for the first time since Terminator 2 Judgment Day, and actually kind of sees a retcon of sorts being committed, with Terminator Rise of the Machine, Salvation, and Genesis all being disregarded as having happened in alternate timelines. So that's why I kind of air-quoted retcon there, because they did happen, just in alternate timelines, and not the current timeline that we are on right now. As with this timeline, Terminator 1 happened, Terminator 2 happened, and now there's a big 28-year gap between Judgment Day and Dark Fate, and that leads us here. Now, when the teaser trailer for Terminator Dark Fate dropped a few months ago, basically everyone lashed out on it for, I would say, mostly unjustified reasons. I would agree that the trailer itself was pretty underwhelming. It didn't really do much for me. It didn't really do much in the way of getting me hyped and excited for the movie. But the main thing that actually got people so worked up about the trailer was the Feminator, where people had lashed out of the movie and had basically already said, just by the first trailer, that the movie was going to be a piece of crap that does nothing but force feminism ideals down people's throats and tarnishes the name of a once great franchise. And we live in a highly divided, culturally toxic world in 2019, as I'm sure that's obvious for most of you, where basically big bang studios now have to feel they have to force a bunch of SJW PC ideals down our throats as opposed to actually focusing on making a good movie. That is a current problem in the film industry, and I do believe that's something that is ruining our movies. And I'll say this without being afraid, despite all of the praise it got, I did not enjoy Deadpool 2. I mean, there were still a couple of scenes that I liked, there were still a couple of good laughs that I got in with that movie. I'm not saying it was totally awful. Everyone seems to have loved that movie and thought it was better than Deadpool 1, but I disagree with that. The SJW PC ideals ruined the movie because they felt they had to shove all of those ideals down our throats at every single turn, as opposed to just simply having a funny slapstick dry comedy scene, which, you know, that's what I want to frickin' see in a Deadpool movie. That's what I love so much about the first one. But anyway, concerning one aspect of the SJW movement, and that is feminism, which people were tearing apart the Terminator Dark Fate trailer for just being one big feminism showcase. Now, I think, if you ask me, the word feminism has too much of a negative connotation to it. I mean, you hear it and you're like, feminism. And while the concept itself is a little flawed, while it does have proponents that have gone way overboard with the topic, I really don't mind feminism all that much, and I think that it's quite overbashed. And one of the reasons I feel that the existence of feminism is at least a little bit justified is because there aren't enough female-centered action movies out there. We got some in back-to-back years now. In 2018, there was Atomic Blonde, and now just this year we got Anna. And I mean, obviously this dates back, I mean, way throughout time, like Sigourney Weaver in Alien, Uma Thurman in Kill Bill, just to name a few. So it's not like it's anything new, but I feel it's kind of a untapped subset of the action movie genre. There's, of course, plenty of male-centered action movies out there. There's quite a big influx of them in the 80s, you know, Arnold Schwarzenegger's heyday. I think there is just a facet of that hooks you in. First of all, starting with how females generally aren't as strong as men. Often in those types of movies, like in Atomic Blonde and Anna, the females were fighting past big macho dudes, probably at least 50 pounds and 5 inches above them. With that, there is a certain vulnerability about a female action hero that makes you want to root for them more. Getting back to the aforementioned Terminator Dark Fate, there does seem to be a lot more females involved than males. Edward Furlong reprising his role as John Connor has obviously not been showcased in any of the trailers yet, And really, in the second trailer, Arnold Schwarzenegger, while he did have a bigger presence in that trailer than the first one, he really did not get as much screen time as, say, Linda Hamilton's Sarah Connor. I think we should all just take a step back here and ask ourselves, is this really all such a bad thing? Because, I mean, with franchises that have been going on as long as the Terminator franchise, you really can't get much out of them unless you totally do something that shakes up the franchise while staying true to its core. That's key in revitalizing a franchise and keeping it updated to newer and younger audiences who will go to see it that maybe did not even watch the movies that had come out 20, 25, 30, 35 years ago. And I feel Terminator Dark Fate is doing that formula perfectly. And then these characters too, it really is interesting just to see how much time has passed between them, because now the T-800, played by Arnold Schwarzenegger, in Dark Fate, he had long abandoned his mission and is just living in solitaire, while Sarah Connor during these past 28 years has really just been hunting down, Terminator machines and taking them out because, of course, she can. And then, of course, Edward Furlong, now we really have to wait and see just what kind of role he has in Dark Fate. It's too early to say because of how little he's been showcased so far. There were a lot of moments in Dark Fate's second trailer that really got me pumped. It really, there were certain scenes that made me go, holy shit, that looks freaking cool. So I am hoping that Dark Fate can live up to both the first two Terminator movies, although it would be pretty freaking hard to top the second one. That's always going to be a classic action movie. That'll live on forever, no doubt about that. So while it's going to be tremendously difficult for it to top it, even if it does come close to it, that's going to be for a great action movie, and a lot better than most movies that we get in 2019. And I know what you might think. I'm just one guy here on YouTube who doesn't show his face, that doesn't really have a lot of subscribers to show for it, so, why listen to me? But if you ask me, what I think should happen is that people should not jump the gun so fast when it comes to trailers and things like that, because, it's a very hate-filled, hate-driven climate that we live in, and I've seen in a lot of instances where people often don't really want to just take a step back to think about whether that hate may be justified in the first place. It's like the first chance that people get, they all just want to jump on board some hate train and then just ride that and, oil out the tracks as much as they can. It does make you feel good inside to be a part of a collective group that all hates on a certain celebrity or franchise or just any certain entity out there. That is a very empowering, albeit toxicating feeling that has plagued our society these past few years. And really, when it comes to a lot of trailers too, it's like, that's not the movie. Like, you really have to see the movie in order to make a fair and accurate judgment on it. Now, yes, some trailers are indeed unforgivably terrible and give you the wrong impression of the movie, so then you can't help but think that the movie is going to be terrible going in, and that's the fault of the movie studios, that's not the fault of the audience. But in most cases, I think people should really just step back and evaluate whether that is really a fair way of looking at whatever it is you're looking at. Anyway, though, that's what I would like to see happen, but I would love to know what you would like to see happen, and I would love to know really what you think about this entire thing, even if you don't agree with me, even if you just slightly disagree with me or totally disagree with me, then I would love to know why in the comment section below, because I pride myself here on keeping this channel an open discussion forum, basically. Really, if you have anything to say, then just go ahead and say it. I encourage it, and I do try my best to respond to every comment that I get. Be sure to check me out on social media. I recommend Twitter the most, as that is not only where I post all of the videos that I upload, but I also post updates about future videos in progress. And if you would like to further examine my weirder side, then be sure to check out my other channel, Mysteriosity, where I post videos centering around all sorts of mysterious phenomena. So thank you all so much for watching, and if you haven't subscribed already, do subscribe, and I will see you all in the near future. Peace!